Everyone, welcome to this webinar on the benefits of being a Project Unicorn signatory for school systems. We're very excited to have you for this short webinar today. Basically, we're going to talk about the benefits of becoming a Project Unicorn Pledge signatory and what you can gain from joining our community. Just to give you a little overview, we're going to talk a little bit about Project Unicorn and the School Network Pledge, and then we're going to have a discussion with Ken from San Ramon Valley Unified School District. Ken has a great story, I think, to share about how Project Unicorn was able to help him and his district move forward on their interoperability journey. We'll then offer a Q&A, so feel free to, if you have any questions during the webinar, just go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. So again, here are our presenters, Ken Bazan, the Data Systems Manager for San Ramon Valley Unified, and I am the Director of Digital Programs for Project Unicorn and Innovate EDU. Just a little bit about Project Unicorn. Project Unicorn is actually a coalition of organizations, 18 organizations that are working together to support and promote the use of data interoperability in K-12 education. It's very unique for such a large group of organizations to collaborate for such an extended period of time. And we're really proud of the collaboration with our Project Unicorn partners. So just to give you a brief introduction to interoperability. I'm not going to read the definition on the screen, or at least not the entirety of it, but it's the seamless, secure, and controlled exchange of data between applications. So I'm thinking that some of you may know what interoperability is. It's basically behind the ability of having edtech platforms communicate and talk with each other and share data using open data standards and protecting student data privacy at the same time. And data interoperability is something we're very passionate here about Project Unicorn because just states and districts are swimming in data they can't really use. Data is stored in siloed locations. It's difficult to bring data from different sources together. Data that's not validated often leads to inaccurate information. And when you implement data interoperability, it can strengthen the privacy and security of data in transit and at rest. Some of the challenges caused by the lack of interoperability, which I expect will be of no surprise to our audience today, include so much educator and staff time spent manually downloading data and unable to see data from multiple sources and assessments in a single location. Another example is that students have to go to external websites to view digital learning content. That would be interoperability within learning management systems. And often it also results in data being moved in an insecure and unprotected manner. I'm sure that many of you are familiar with the whole concept of data being downloaded into CSV files and stored on someone's laptop, which of course we know is inherently not very secure. In our ideal universe, data can be transferred between systems via a direct API connection, which is faster, more secure, and provides access to the most recent and up-to-date information. Just to give you a quick lay of the land, there's 4 open data standards bodies here in the United States. We have CEDS for the Common Data Standards. They are put together by the U.S. Department of Education, and they actually serve as the basis of the other standards. They are P20 standards, and you can see the website listed, and they're very commonly used at the state level. Access for Learning is known for the SIF standard, and they are also the folks behind the fabulous Student Data Privacy Consortium. And they have been around for quite a while, and you can see their website on the screen. When edtech is very well known for their rostering standards, particularly OneRoster. They're working with K-12 and education. And in addition to comprehensive learner records, they're also the most commonly used standards when it comes to integrating learning content directly into learning management systems. And then we have the EdFi Alliance, which Ken is going to talk a little bit about his experience with EdFi today. They are mostly K-12 focused, and they focus a lot on student information system data, assessments, and state reporting. There is something called the EdFi Academy, which is available at the EdFi website, which I highly recommend if you're interested in learning more about EdFi. It's fabulous, and they keep adding more and more modules. It also has some great information if you are looking for language to try and explain data interoperability to other people. Their EdFi Academy, regardless of what standard you're using, the EdFi Academy, I think, has some really good language in their courses that you may find useful. So definitely would also encourage you to check out EdFi. And now I should talk a little bit about the Project Unicorn Pledge. So the pledge, when you sign the pledge, you're basically signaling to other school networks, to EdTech tools, and your school community that you are committed to helping your students grow with interoperability. It's not a situation where we're following up, where you have to be at a certain level in order to sign the pledge. We have pledge signatories who are at the very beginning of their interoperability journey and others who are much further along. So regardless of where you are in your interoperability journey, we would encourage you to sign the pledge. And what signing the pledge does is, here's an example of the pledge. It'll give you access to all kinds of resources. And here you can see on the screen, here are basically the primary tenets of the Project Unicorn School Network Pledge. You can find a little bit more data on the page on our website, or a little bit more detail, I should say. But it's not a binding pledge, so it's not like you have to fulfill some sort of requirements or something to sign the pledge. It is open to all school networks, LEAs, and also local, and that includes education service agencies, BOCES, et cetera, et cetera. And some of the benefits of signing the Project Unicorn Pledge: we provide free technical assistance. I mentioned our technical assistance is free. All of it's free. And there's nothing more that we enjoy than supporting school systems and districts and providing technical assistance. We also work directly with vendors. And again, all of our resources free. We are a grant-funded organization, which makes it possible for us to offer these resources for free. We also provide boot camps and other information, and Ken's going to talk a little bit about his experience with a Project Unicorn boot camp. We just launched a community Slack workspace for Project Unicorn Signatory. So you can join the community, you can join us on Slack, and you can find out more about, connect with other districts who may be working on the same challenges that you are. We also have scholarship opportunities, and we will provide scholarships of up to $750 to school system personnel who are interested in attending a conference to learn more about data interoperability. So for instance, my colleague Chloe at this moment, she's at the A4L Interoperability and Privacy Symposium in Chicago. And if there was a member who was interested in attending that conference, you could apply for a $750 scholarship that will go towards your travel expenses and fees. And it's a great opportunity. It's one that we highly encourage our benefits to take advantage of. We also will provide opportunities for you to connect with the districts and provide some visibility for your work. For instance, Ken has done, you're going to learn today how Ken started from literally ground zero, and 18 months later, it is truly inspiring to see the progress that he has made with their EdFi operational data store and the dashboards that they've been able to create. We also have presentation toolkits, and on our resource library, we have some RFP language and examples and additional guidance for you to check out. So now I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to engage Ken in a conversation about his experience as a Project Unicorn Pledge signatory. Ken, welcome. We're so glad to have you here today. And Ken's also going to share some cool data visualizations that he has created. So Ken, I'm just going to let you go ahead and start and tell a little bit about your unicorn story.
Well, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Ken Bazan, and I am from San Ramon Valley Unified School District. We are about, I want to say, 30 minutes northeast of San Francisco. So for those of you, I see someone here from the Bay Area. Hello, Bay Area fans. So my experience, I want to speak for myself, my experience with Project Unicorn came about 2 years ago, 18 months ago. I was sent to a conference called EdFi Summit, and I didn't know what it was. All I was told was, hey, you need to go to this conference because we are we are partners and we need to attend. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then the day before they say, oh, and by the way, 2 days before the conference, I was told that you need to attend this Project Unicorn boot camp. And I'm like, okay, whatever that is. So when I got there, I attended the conversation, which by the way, they provided an amazing lunch. Thank you, Susan. It was an amazing lunch. And we attended the Project Unicorn boot camp. And since it was my first time attending the conference and also attending the boot camp, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. All I heard was interoperability, and I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that was. I've been in education for 20 plus years. I didn't know any of that until Project Unicorn. They started talking, they started networking, and I was just that guy who was lost with someone else. We was two of us, and we were just lost. We didn't know what was going on. And then finally, they started talking about data. And I'm like, oh, I know data. I love data. And I started the networking conversations with the peers that were there. And I can be honest with you, I was very overwhelmed. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And Project Unicorn, pretty much through that boot camp, helped me and my staff member bridge the gap between edified standards, data and probability, and what I was getting myself into. It was an amazing experience. Until this day, every time I see Susan in person, I do thank her, because just that boot camp helped me understand what was going to happen, what were the steps I needed to take to get there. So that's how I got myself involved in Project Unicorn. You are muted, Susan.
Thank you, Ken. Would you like to share a little bit about the dashboards that you created as a result of where you started and where you've come?
Yes, of course. So I started in we didn't even have a server. So Project Unicorn helped us connect with key players within the Edify Alliance, and also with other districts that were already in the developing process. And let me share my screen so I can show you where we are now. Right now, we are in the stages where it was key for us to understand as a participant of this project how we were going to identify a unique case. We didn't. Our case was very broad. We were trying to figure out, when I first got here, the number of years of experience and how students were performing. And so we decided to use our use case to be more intentional. So we decided to be, how are our students performing, our subgroups, our students performing in the state's testing. So we decided to create a dashboard. And this is what we came up with. Our dashboard, you can see we have our ELA, how our students are performing, and then our math. And then also our 9 subgroups that we are being monitored by the state. And so you can see you have economic status and how our students in the economic statuses, how they're performing. And here you can see that. We have all these different options now. And then how they're performing by subgroups, and also doing comparisons, how district-wide performance are doing from one year to another. And as you can see, we have a gap because the students, there was a gap because of COVID, and the students didn't get tested in California. And then we have also the subgroups and how the student performs. Okay, now what this helped us understand through Project Unicorn, we were able to get the networking, we were able to get the background, and also the resources, which is great. We were lost, and because of the resources they were able to give us, and they were able to help us in the technical support part of it, we were able to build this dashboard. And using that use case, we were able to get that background knowledge that we needed to develop the annual equity report. And in the annual equity report, we are now able to create an annual equity report for our community that it's going to be there annually and give us that report of enrollment, our graduation rates and exit outcomes, our behavior, our residency, our student staff diversity, and our program participation. So this is what you get. This is the outcome you get when you become part of the Project Unicorn. I am the perfect example of this. We were lost, and I can say we are now found because they helped us so much. They told us who to network with, who to reach out to, where to go in the alliance, who to talk to. The support, the technical support was great. So this is what you'll get, the outcome that you'll get if you become part of the Project Unicorn.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ken. We so appreciate your passionate endorsement of the Project Unicorn community. Of course, this is something that's very near and dear to our heart. One question that I would have for you is, you told us a little bit about your journey. What kind of buy-in did you have to get from others at your organization to sign the pledge and prioritize interoperability in your district?
Well, once I was able to showcase what the initial outcome from the conversations we had. And then I was able to speak to our business office department, and then also speak to our ed services department. And I talked to them about the importance of this partnership and where we could get to, and what additional resources we were getting by being part of the pledge and by being part of the Project Unicorn. That's what helped us so much. And just the fact that I was able to present just a use case, because initially we didn't have anything, and then they saw the outcome. They're like, yes, let's do this. We need to move forward with this. This is what we need.
Thank you so much. And so tell us, if you have people who are watching this webinar either live or on the recording who are kind of on the fence as to whether or not they should become a Project Unicorn Pledge signatory, what would you say to them?
I will say that you know it's okay to be lost. It's okay to not know where you are. Project Unicorn is going to help you. Project Unicorn is going to become your partner in crime to assist you and develop the tools that you need so that you can actually create that dashboard that I just showed you. And now one of the big things that we are working with right now in the summer, during the summertime, we're going to be working is our data governance. And Project Unicorns gave us the tools that we need, share some of the resources that they already have, and we are going to be able to use those resources. Instead of reinventing the wheel, we're just going to just use the resource they gave us and just that's going to be our first tool that we're going to use to develop our data governance team here as well in our district. So that's what you get with Project Unicorn.
Thanks, Kenny. You bring up such a good point, because we have our school system data survey that we put out every year, and it's available on the Project Unicorn website. And what the survey has found is that data governance is hands down the biggest challenges faced by all the districts that we talk to. It doesn't matter whether they're large or small or urban or rural or suburban, but data governance is a very common challenge. And that's what I think is important for folks to recognize, is that even if you're at a point where you're thinking, whoa, interoperability, we're just not at this point yet. We'd like to get there, but we're nowhere near there yet. But we would like to get our data house in order. That's why we're here. As I mentioned, we help school systems at all phases of their data interoperability journey. So even if you are very, very new or have other questions that are kind of data related, we have resources. And we can also direct you to people who can help, which is what, as Ken mentioned, is something that we like to do. We like to view ourselves as the connective tissue, that we connect districts together so that they can talk with colleagues who are experiencing some of the same challenges. We also connect vendors together. We also have a vendor pledge that we encourage vendors to sign. And we like to connect. If we don't know the answer, we know people who do. So we are always helpful, always willing to connect you with other folks who are on their interoperability journey. So if anybody has any questions, I would just encourage you to add them to the chat. I would just like to ask, so Ken, after you get your data governance, I know you mentioned that's going to be your next project. What are your plans after that?
Well, I do want to become more involved with not just Project Unicorn, but also helping out other districts. We are working right now with Edify Alliance to start a collaborative here in Northern California, because that's what we need. Other districts need to understand the importance of data and how data is going to drive not just our district decision making, but also at the classroom level, instructionally. They need to understand that data is important everywhere, including our teachers and our students. You'll be surprised how much data can support instruction. And so that's where our next goal is to start a collaborative here in Northern California to support that and to work with Edify Alliance. And I'm also working with a company called developers.net, who is also, I got introduced to Doug through Susan. So that's how the connection came. And I can tell you, everyone, that being part of Project Unicorn, you're going to get the networking, you're going to get the information exchange, you're going to get the sharing of ideas, and most importantly, you're not going to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ken. I'm going to go back and I'm going to share my screen again. And I get a message saying my screen sharing is paused. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can undo that. I stop the share. See if I can pull up my slide deck again. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. So as we mentioned earlier about the Project Unicorn State of the Sector report and the school system data survey. Our data finds that school systems who signed the Project Unicorn School Network Pledge scored higher than non-pledged signatories in all domains and reported more advanced data practices and capabilities. And I can tell you, we didn't stack the deck. I think last year, only 20% of the folks who actually completed the school system data signatory were Project Unicorn School Network signatories. So that's just another example of how we can help you on your journey. Before you go, I just want to encourage you again to sign the School Network Pledge if you haven't done so already. You can see the handy dandy QR code on the screen. Would love for you to sign it, and would love to have you join the Project Unicorn community. And we are always eager to help. And we're always creating new resources. By signing the pledge, you'll get on our email list and you'll have access to information about webinars and new resources as soon as they are published. Thank you so much, Naomi, for adding that link to the pledge. And just wanted to provide a few closing thoughts, which is that interoperability is a journey. This is a multi-year project, so don't get discouraged, but other industries are leveraging data in powerful ways, and why should education be left behind? So the Project Unicorn team can help you take your first few steps and help you develop a plan to make data interoperability a reality. So if you would like to check out our resource library, you can see the link on the screen. Just go ahead and select district or school from the categories drop-down menu. If you just go to projectunicorn.org and go to the resource library up top, you'll see that link. And we have lots of resources, both from Unicorn and from other organizations. And also, if you have questions, you can reach out to the Project Unicorn team. Here's our email address, and we are happy to answer any questions you have. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end our webinar for today. Thank you so much to everyone who attended. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming and sharing your unicorn story. We are so happy to have you as part of the herd, as we like to call our unicorn signatories. And we look forward to welcoming all of you to the Project Unicorn herd in the very near future. Thanks so much, everyone.